Good day everyone, we are Electronics and Communications Engineering students from Negros Oriental State University, and today we will be presenting our research proposal as a partial requirements for research methods for engineering under the supervision of Dr. Craig Refugio. To start with, let me introduce to you our team. We have Miss Jenny Cigarette, Miss Kat Allen Samoranos, and yours truly, Jeanette Faith M. Patrocinio. Without further ado, our research proposal is about automatic facial recognition security cameras, a proposed identity detection system in the city of Dumaguete. Our outline of the proposal includes introduction, statement of the problem, significance of the study, scope of the study, theoretical framework, conceptual framework, review of related literature, and research methodology. As nations develop and their economies grow bigger, social problems also intensify. One great concern deals with peace and order as well as safety and security of the people. The idea of preventing crimes before they occur sounds like something out of science fiction, but the truth is that we have entered an age where far more crimes can be prevented than ever before, all thanks to face recognition. Surveillance is currently used as a security measure by retailers, casinos, transportation hubs, banks, stadiums, and a variety of other businesses. The potential value of public surveillance technology was well demonstrated all the way back in April 2013 when investigators identified the two suspects in the Boston Marathon bombing, after sifting through video images captured by the city's camera. Locally, the use of surveillance has been popular in stores, gasoline stations, streets, elevators, laboratories, banks, condominiums, hallways, and even privately owned areas. Traditional surveillance systems, on the other hand, are reactive. That is to say, they can alert security to ongoing crimes or assist in forensic investigations after they happen. But face recognition is revolutionizing security and loss prevention by empowering security professionals to know which individuals are most likely to commit crime. According to Gorel, face recognition system is one of the biometric information processing, and its importance has skyrocketed in the last couple of decades. Face recognition system attempts to identify individuals based on facial characteristics. The system's applicability is easier and working range is larger than other biometric information processing in terms of fingerprint, iris scanning, signature, and many more. According to Lin, the system also possesses the merits of both high accuracy and low intrusiveness. In the streets, public places, and even private locations within Dumaguete City, we frequently hear crimes including the murder of innocent people, identity theft, and persons fabricating legal documents. These technologies are always accompanied by assurances that they will prevent such crimes and thereby increase public safety and security. Person identification plays an important role in semantic analysis of video content. The main purpose of person identification is to associate each subject that appears in the video clips with a real person. However, to manually label all subjects that appear in large-scale video archive is labor-intensive, time-consuming, and prohibitively expensive. To deal with this, automatic face recognition system is introduced. The techniques of an automatic face recognition system can be broadly divided into two interlinked operations: the face detection and face recognition. Face detection is a necessary initial step with the purpose of localizing and extracting the face region from the background. The solution to the problem involves segmentation and extraction of faces and possibly facial features from an uncontrolled background. Face recognition operation involves performing verification and identification. Searching for the closest matching images is then carried out for identifying the most likely match face. The final stage of face recognition is identification and verification. Identification is the process of comparing a face with a set of two or more faces in order to determine the most likely match. Face verification is the process of comparing the test face with another known face in the database, resulting in either acceptance as client or rejection of the face as imposture. Facial recognition is indeed an area of biometrics where several technologies meet. The next generation of mobile networks, such as 5G and edge technologies, are a few more that will make it more widespread than it already is. The deployment of automatic facial recognition security cameras to monitor anything in Dumaguete City is most likely the first significant area with a considerable impact not just in homeland security but also in securing critical facilities and the people of Dumaguete City. Statement of the problem. Face recognition systems are part of facial image processing applications, and their significance as a research area is increasing recently. Because of the alarming number of criminal activities happening in the city of Dumaguete nowadays, the city government must implement preventive measures immediately. Implementing automatic face recognition security cameras with the Philippine Identification System, also known as PhilSys, thereupon helps in crime prevention, video surveillance, person verification, and similar security activities. Specifically, our study aims to answer the following questions. First, how does an automatic facial recognition security camera system work? Second, what are the data included in the Philippine Identification System, or PhilSys? Third, how do automatic facial recognition security cameras work together with Philippine Identification System as its database? Fourth, how do automatic facial recognition security cameras improve the security system of Dumaguete City? And lastly, fifth, what is the estimated cost of implementing the proposed identity detection system? Significance of the study. The results of the study will be beneficial to the city of Dumaguete, the Philippine Identification System or PhilSys, the residents, and other researchers. First, Dumaguete City. This study is a significant pursuit in minimizing the alarming number of criminal activities happening in Dumaguete. Implementing automatic facial recognition security cameras within the city can be advantageous in crime prevention, maintaining peace and order, strengthening safety and security measures. Second, Philippine Identification System. Automatic face recognition security cameras, when added to the system, will speed up the identification of the person committing or involved in a crime. It is convenient for storing and retrieving personal data to obtain results, and it also decreases the likelihood of data inaccuracies. Third, the residents. Residents will benefit from the study since the Philippine Identification System installed in the automatic facial recognition security cameras provide them with a reassurance in terms of security, such as warning them of prior criminals suspected of conducting a new scheme. The residents can also easily report missing children as well as disoriented missing adults, for example, those suffering from dementia, amnesia, epilepsy, or even Alzheimer's disease, and can expect quicker response. Lastly, researchers. This study will help other researchers who are studying on topics related to automatic facial recognition security camera system. The data in this study can be used to find new ways to interpret the study and determine the need for their additional research. The study recommendations can be introduced into some other research reference material for future researchers.
Now we will have the scope and limitation of the study. The focus of this study is to develop an automatic facial recognition security camera system for the Dumaguete City. The study intends to strengthen the city's security system by selecting the Philippine Identification System as its database. However, only the PhilSys data of the people from the entire province of Negros Oriental will be included in the system's database. Another one is that the public spaces and other high-risk areas throughout the city will be considered for the system's installation. So we'll be inspecting the vulnerable areas around the city. On the other hand, the system may have drawbacks such as sensitive to lighting variations, and it is expected that the initial investment could be high. Now we will have the theoretical framework of the study. The main idea of this study rooted on the two supporting theories. First is the algorithmic information theory. So we base our study on this theory because eigenphase, which is one of the first successful algorithms ever known, is using the information theory approach. Information theory is the mathematical approach that study information coding, its quantification, storage, and transmission that influences information transmission and processing. So there are many types of information theory approach, but the very suitable theory will be the algorithmic information theory proposed by Gregory Chaitin. So algorithmic information theory is an area of theoretical computer science that studies the link between computation and information in computably created things such as strings or any other data structure. So in connection to our study, we will be using the theory because we will search for the best matching or possible phase information that is encoded in the PhilSys database. So we will use some computations and describing of the information and calculating if the best matching photo with the photo in the video clip. Next, we have the second theory, which is the theory of human identification. It is proposed by Professor Roger Clark. Professor Roger Clark defines human identification as the association of data with a particular human being. So each one of us has this distinct type of information that makes us different from the other people. So according to him, there are three types of human identification. First is the knowledge-based identifications. This is the possession of information which only that person would be expected to know. For example, the person's mother's name, the person's social security number, and his or her password. So that's one of the example of the knowledge-based identifications. And as far as I can remember, we are asked to input this type of information sa PhilSys. Next, we have the token-based identifications. It is said that persons are recognized by their possession of some item such as national identity card, driver's license, and a passport. We are also required to bring two valid IDs, right? So that is token-based identification. So PhilSys also have that type of identification. Third is the biometric identification. It refers to the identification techniques which are based on some physical and difficult to alienate characteristics. They include descriptions of appearance, DNA, fingerprints, iris scan. So for the PhilSys, the data included there is fingerprints, full set, iris scan, and our photograph. Now we will have the conceptual framework of the study. The system is built with the idea that each person has a particular face structure, and using the facial symmetry, computerized face matching is possible. And to make our system work, we need to have an efficient algorithm and a database of face images. So we have here the system framework of the system. There are two main operations for the system. First is the face detection, and second is the face recognition. For the face detection operation, the camera will capture an image. The image captured will be, the person will be extracted from the background, and then the image will be detected. After that, the face region will be cropped, and the cropped image will be ready for the next process. So the cropped image will undergo the second main operation, which is the face recognition. So it will be pre-processed and it will be represented. So as you can see there, pre-processing, and then after that is face representation. And then the image will be compared to the previously enrolled faces in the PhilSys database. So after that is the face classification, wherein the most likely match face is identified by searching the closest matching photos. So after that, it undergoes the final phase of face recognition process, which is the verification and identification. The identification process is wherein we compare the test face now from the video clip to two or more faces in the PhilSys database to establish the most likely known face. Then after that is the verification, wherein we compare again the test face now. The result from the identification, we test it again and compare it to another known faces in the database. And with that, the resulting will be finding either a match or no match. So if there's a match, PhilSys data will be displayed, and if there's no match, no data will be displayed.
Now, we will proceed with the review of related literature of the study. There is a wealth of related literature and studies regarding the research of facial recognition system and security. They provide a direct bearing on the study's foundation and development. Facial recognition system, according to Urkude, Kishore, and Naranje, it is the most useful computer application or device that can recognize people based on their distinctive facial features. The system keeps a reference model of the individual and captures their image for identification. It also searches the database for a series of data and uses biometrics to identify, verify, and authenticate a person using a set of recognizable and verifiable data unique and specific to that person. That is according to Tales. Moreover, face recognition has been active in the area of research in image processing and computer vision due to its extensive range of prospective applications relating to biometrics information security, video surveillance, law enforcement, identity authentication, smart cards, and access control systems. That is according to Adamo and Caligera. Due to its fairly recent 18 development of the technology, its dominance over a range of industries will continue to grow as it gets more safe, functional, and dependable and efficient. Many countries adopt technology for public safety and security, and when it comes to using facial recognition, China is the world leader. According to Prakash, face recognition cameras were utilized by Nanchang police to identify a criminal among 50,000 other concert-goers. Meanwhile, police officials in Henan province are utilizing smart glasses with facial recognition to catch criminals at a railway station. There are actually 170 million closed-circuit television cameras in the country, with 400 million more expected in the next 3 years. AI and facial recognition are included into many of these cameras. Another related study that can be used as a point of reference is the adoption of facial recognition systems in United Arab Emirates. Prakash also affirms that the country is testing with artificial intelligence for border control. A virtual aquarium with 80 facial recognition cameras has been installed at Dubai Airport, and passengers are scanned as they go through the aquarium. After that, the system either clears them for entry into the country or alerts security personnel. A plan to automate immigration agents in the UAE based on the AI and face recognition to decide who can enter the country is linked also to this. Unlike China, Japan also is deploying facial recognition across the board. In fact, for the 2020 Olympics, facial recognition cameras has been used to allow athletes and media to enter venues. About 300,000 to 400,000 people will have their faces approved. The goal is to boost security by not relying to ID cards, which can be forged or duplicated. Singapore also, which is known as the Asia's high-tech capital, is another example. The Singaporean government is leading a project named Lampus as a platform, or a LAAP. All 110,000 lampposts in Singapore will be equipped with cameras and facial recognition software as part of the LA app. The administration has stated that LA app will be used to boost security and combat terrorism. Singapore is also considering utilizing facial recognition to locate elderly persons who have become disoriented throughout the city, a practice that is already active in China. Singapore's technological adaptations resulted in significant advancement in its country's security and public safety. Face recognition technology has been employed for security purposes in a number of other studies. It is a high time for the Philippines to pursue the same endeavor. As a starting phase, the study will develop face recognition systems in a limited area, particularly in the city of Dumaguete. Based on the data shown, the crime in Dumaguete City has increased dramatically in the last 3 years. And since that time, many more were killed in the city, and some of the cases are unsolved. The reasons for such failure vary, but generally, the alleged lack of sufficient evidence prevented the filing of the proper complaint. With the unsolved cases and the rising crime rate, along with the recent shooting and killing episodes in the city, necessitates prompt response from the Dumaguete City government. Research methodology. The study follows a systematic layout from gathering information of the citizen from Dumaguete City to verification and identification of the images captured. The flowchart shown is for the data gathering of the Philippine Identification System. During the pre-registration of the Philippine National ID offered by PhilSys, data is collected from Filipino citizens in a step-by-step approach. Step 1. Applicants must register their demographic information in PSA's online portal for national ID registration. This includes information such as name, sex, date and place of birth, blood type, and address. Optional information like marital status, mobile number, and email address will also be collected. After inputting these details, applicants can proceed to set an appointment in the nearest physical registration center for the second step. Second step, the biometric information including fingerprint, iris scan, and photograph will be taken in the registration center during appointment. The supporting documents will also be validated on site with the facilitator for the confirmation of information. And the last step, which is the end, is the issuance of the PhilSys number or PSN and Philippine ID. According to the Project Information Memorandum of the Philippine Identification System or PhilSys, the data and rights of all citizens and resident aliens are protected from any means of exploitation. Another flowchart shown is the flowchart of the automatic facial recognition security camera system. The figure shows how an automatic facial recognition security camera system works. The primary step of the system is the capturing of the image of an individual through cameras in a JPEG format. As the camera captures images, it is then provided to the face detection face unit. The image face portion is then recognized, and facial areas such as eyes, lips, and nose are extracted as pixel values. The result is then saved in a database that handles compression, processing, data storage, and compression of the acquired data in the next stage. The image obtained is then matched to the data stored in PhilSys database, validating the individual's information. When the system detects a match, the profile of the identified individual from PhilSys appears on the display screen, indicating that the person has been verified. Otherwise, no matching results are shown. The system will use Viola-Jones algorithm and eigenface approach. The elements must be included in the system designs are as follows. For the software, we use MATLAB. For the hardware, we use 360-degree video camera. For the required products, we have the image acquisition toolbox, image processing toolbox, and computer vision system toolbox. In addition, the following aspects are considered in the installation of the automatic facial recognition camera system in the city of Dumaguete. First is the coverage. The researchers will first determine which areas in Dumaguete City are most vulnerable and need to be covered. An analyst may be hired to assist in determining the best possible location to mount cameras and get optimal coverage. The city of Dumaguete's downtown and boulevard are deemed high risk and vulnerable areas that will almost certainly require the installation of the post-automatic facial recognition security camera system. The types of security cameras. The second aspect to be considered is determining the types of security cameras to be used and the type of quality they can provide. The 360 type camera can be the most likely to consider as it provides 360-degree coverage of data in the location. Declaration and legality. As the law requires, letting people know they are recorded is a must. Where there is security cameras installed, signs stating about it will serve the purpose. Permission. It is a form of courtesy that, depending on where the security cameras are installed, permission from the relevant authority is acquired. Technical aspects. HD videos recorded by security cameras are stored on database for Dumaguete City, which can store higher capacity and capable of running continuously for a much longer period of time. So that serves as our presentation for the research in partial requirement for ENS 341 research methods for engineering. Hope you guys enjoy and thank you so much for watching.